last year was pretty interesting for me. So on the 28th of April was my ex-husband's birthday, and we were supposed to go to dinner with his friends. We were separated already, but nobody turned up, just me and him. And he was screaming for 45 minutes in the car, blaming me for things that happened to him and to our marriage and to our business, to the point where I stopped arguing. And I remembered sitting in the car thinking, this is not the same man I saw 12 years ago. Literally a week later, I remembered, first week of May, I woke up, everything I saw was double. Like literally, there's two of everything, either like this or like that. And I went to my GP, and he said, we got to send you to brain scan, we got to send you to ophthalmologist. There was nothing wrong with my eyes. And I was panicking. I said, how am I going to work? And so that was in May, and I was sent to a neurologist. They found out thyroid disease. And I was like, okay, well, my mom had that. It's genetic. They give me medication. And I'm one of those people who doesn't like Panadols or anything like that. So I only took it for a week, and I didn't like it. So I stopped. Went back to my GP and I said, I want something more natural. And he looked at me like, there's nothing natural. This is, there's nothing natural. Okay, so my hair started to fall out, and I was eating like a pig, but I kept losing weight. I couldn't walk. I used to run. I couldn't walk anymore. It was worse, getting worse and worse. And then a week later, and my eyesight still didn't get better. 3 weeks later, they called me again and said, we found something else, and said, it's called myasthenia gravis. And I was like, I've never heard of that. Well, you've never heard of that because they say, I don't know if this is true, it's affecting 1 in 85,000 people. I'm not too sure if that's true. But how the hell did I get it? So they sent me to ophthalmologist in hospital in Newtown. I can't even remember what it's called now. But he looked, I was waiting for 45 minutes, nervous, I didn't know what to do. He walked in, the first thing he said to me was, oh my God, your eyes. And I said, okay, I know. And he said, you have no idea. This is gonna get worse. And I said, no. He said, you don't know. I have 20 years experience in this, and this is bad. I said, no, this is not gonna get worse. I know myself. You don't know, 20 years experience. And I was like, listen, am I allowed to swear?
You're doing great.
Yeah? Okay. So this is exactly what I said. I was in tears, and I said, I didn't pay you $400 for you to tell me that I'm gonna get worse, okay? And I remember my ex-husband took me there, and he was like, babe, and I said, you too. So anyway, and then I said to the doctor, I said, I'm so sorry. And he said, that's fine, I've seen this a lot. You're just toxic. I said, what do you mean I'm f***ing toxic? So anyway, I said, I'm gonna see you in 6 weeks, and you're gonna see that I'm gonna get better, not worse. So I walked out, made an appointment 6 weeks, and then in the car I was like, how am I gonna get better in 6 weeks? But I promised him I'm gonna come back. So then I remembered crying. The whole afternoon I was crying, and I was thinking what had happened to me in the first half of the year. So that was in May. My husband, my ex-husband, he was not the same person anymore that I met. Over the years, he got involved in people that we don't really want to get involved with, resulting in him having to give up the business that I built before he came to my life to everything. So I came from owning 3 franchise telecommunication shop, which was doing really well, worked 7 days a week, and to nothing. So because of the people that he got involved with, I had to step back for the safety of my son, my 16-year-old, and me. And my ex-husband walked out of me, taking my 2 dogs without telling me. So I remembered crying that day, like, why? Like, I've never done anything wrong. Why is this all happening to me? So he walked out on me with my 2 dogs, then he took my business and sold it to these people. And not enough, I had thyroid disease. That's not enough. Everything was double.
It sounds like a country western song, doesn't it?
Eat your salad. So that was May, and in September, I used to call it coincidence, but now I know it's called synchronicity. It took me a while to spell it. Learn how to spell it.
You mean your energy was synchronized to a future?
Pardon?
You mean your energy was synchronized to a future?
Yes.
Okay.
So the future me was drawing me there. So this lovely girl, she called me and, hey, I haven't heard from you for a long time. How are you going? And I said, oh, okay. I'm glad you asked.
I'm about ready to vomit on you. Brace yourself.
So I told her everything that had happened. And then she said, honey, I'll stop you right there, okay? Go and get this book from Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I was like, yeah, I've got one of his books. Well, have you read it? I said, no. I read it for 2 years, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, but I never had time. So it's there. Okay, I'll read it. And she said, no, get You Are the Placebo. And you know when you got to the point where you hit crisis and nothing worked, all your friends disappeared, your family was like, it's your own fault, told you not to get involved with him. So I was just withdrew myself. Now I know it's the cocoon phase. So I did. So I couldn't read, so I downloaded the audiobook and I listened. And I listened to it in the kitchen, in the car. I didn't listen to music. What hit me was the story of the ex-refugee, the Cambodian ladies in Long Beach, California. I remember Dr. Joe said, well, not your voice, but in the book, your voice is nice.
He's an Australian, come on.
He said, well, you said in his voice, I'm confusing myself, if you had problems with your vision, is there anything in life that you would rather not see? The hair on the back of my neck stood up. I was like, holy shit, this book was written for me. And I said, all right, so how do I fix this? You know, doctor said they were going to take my thymus gland out, saying that it may work. It may work. I said, you're not taking anything out of me. So I thought there must be something more in this book that tells me what to do. So I came across You Are the Placebo meditation. I downloaded it and I didn't really like it. So I tried. So after 2 days, I didn't like it. And then I downloaded Breaking the Habits of Being Yourself, Water Rising. I was like, I don't like to be underwater. Nah, I didn't like it. But I kept trying different, and this is every day. By day 7, I came across Blessing of the Energy Center, and I thought, oh,
I
I
knew
can
it.
do this.
I knew it.
I can do this. I just sit and do that. Within a week, I think I surrendered. Now I know everything, just whatever you said, it's just, oh yeah, I know that. I can relate to that. I surrendered because I had nothing else to rely on anymore. So I did the Blessing of the Energy Center, and my first mystical experience came day 7, where I felt like I was floating in nowhere, and my head was spinning like that. I remembered, oh, what is this? But I felt home. I didn't want it to end. So when I finished, I ran to my 16-year-old who was playing PlayStation, and I said, oh my God, you know what just happened? And he looked at me, what? I just floated in space, and I tried to explain to him, and he looked at me like, okay. It was like, he put his headset on and kept playing, and I realized I don't care, and I started dancing, and I was still seeing double. It was so weird. And since then, I used Blessing of the Energy Center for at least 3 months, every day, not miss a day. There were days when I feel scared, like I know the unknown, but it's the unknown, trusting the unknown, all those concepts are so new to me. But I stuck to it, and I did the meditation every single day and not missed a day since September. There were days when I feel so tired, and this disease just make me, sometimes I can't even function properly. I was always tired. Fatigue became my middle name. But I was still persistent with it. Even though I didn't know whether this is gonna work or not, I still did it. And I remembered my record was 5 Blessing of the Energy Centers in one sitting, because every time I got out of my meditation, I was still crying because I was still seeing double. And I would repeat it again and again and again until the 5th time I was actually crying, and I said, thank you, I'm healed. So that's the gratitude. There were days when I was sitting and I felt like my knee was going to explode, or my heart was so painful here when I did the heart in the heart. I had to lie back, but I would sit back up and do it again. So I repeat it again and again. Why? Because I wanted to heal. But what I realized was every time I opened my eyes, when you're ready, open your eyes, and everything was still double. But I knew that after that first mystical experience, I just knew that I would be healed. But I don't know when, and I don't know how. I just kept doing it. Then, so I kept doing it, and I didn't know how to fix this pain in the heart. So I found the Facebook group in Sydney, and I met beautiful people. Hello. And they were so supportive. They just told me, we don't have an answer for you. Everyone has different experience, but whenever you feel that, just try to bring elevated emotion and joy and just breathe in. And then see what happens. And it worked. There was no pain anymore. I don't know how it worked. I don't need to know how it worked, but it worked. So then synchronicities just came out of nowhere. When I changed to tuning into new potentials, that was my favorite now, because you get to choose 2 letters. And the first one, I always put the letter S for synchronicity. And the big one, I could not choose whether I wanted abundance or freedom or relationship, because I wanted everything now. I just wanted everything. So but interestingly, I forgot about the letter H for healing. I completely forgotten. And every day I still wake up, everything's still double, but I forgot about it. I just wanted synchronicities. Then came the mind movie. I was panicking because I don't know how to do it. So my son showed me on iMovie, because he's a teenager. He showed me in 30 seconds. He made 7-second video, and he asked me what I wanted. I wanted somebody running down the stairs, but I just wanted the fit. Because when I walked down the stairs, Carla, my best friend Carla, she's somewhere here, she would have to hold my hand, and I would walk like that with just one eye closed. So my 16-year-old said, yeah, well, I'll show you tomorrow. I was so frustrated, and I started wanting to work out how to do a mind movie. Every day I watch it, how to work out how to do it, instead of watching that 7-minute clip. But what I didn't realize is my subconscious kept watching the fit running down the stairs. And then 2 weeks later, I was at Westfield running late from an appointment, and I was running down the escalators. I was like, oh, hang on a second, I'm not seeing double. I went up again, and I kept running. I was like, oh my God, I'm healed. For me, I just said to Dr. Joe that his books, 4 books I read or I listened, I don't listen to music. Whenever I feel like, oh, last Christmas it was disaster, I had no one, my first Christmas, I was crying and my eyes felt like they were going to pop out, like literally. But I was like, what can I do? I meditated and I listened to Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. That's my go zone. I told Dr. Joe that his book should be called The User Guide of Life, because you can just literally open, and if you just follow every single instruction, you will get there, because you are there, right? Sorry. Because you are there.
Now, you went back to the doctors and you had your tests? And
Not yet, because the appointment was the day before, for 2 reasons. All other doctors I didn't want to see anymore, apart from this eye doctor that I saw, right? For 2 reasons. First, because I was running around trying to pack. Secondly, because I ran out of money. So I thought, I'll wait until I come back, because when now abundance is here, I can give him money and tell him, hey, look. I actually took photos of my eyes, if you're interested, the difference. It was pretty cool.
She has a difference in your vision. You have difference in your overall health.
Yes, so my nephrotic syndrome now is 0. The blood test for my Graves' disease, everything was normal apart from one, but it's like nothing. The myasthenia gravis, which is the HESR, I think, or something like that, it's normal was 0.4, under 0.4. Mine was started from like 28. Mm-hmm. The last blood test I did was down to 8. So I said, and when I showed it to my GP, I only use my GP for blood tests, by the way. I don't listen to him. I don't. I want you to test me this. Please send a copy to my house as well. So he said, this is strange, because your tests, you should not be healed or something like that. And I said, yeah, but because that's my body is catching up with my mind. Yeah, getting there. So,
now, would you agree then that the condition came on because of the reaction emotionally to the life that she was living? Yes. And the emotions of survival were so strong that it knocked the body out of balance. Yes? And this is kind of the idol of the body. The thyroid is kind of like the idol of the body. And so as the stress hormones get out of balance, the idol moves out of balance as well. And when you have a thyroid condition that creates Graves' disease and ultimately creates an eye problem called myasthenia gravis, the body is in what's called a catabolic reaction. It's spiraling downward. So the hormones of stress were the very thing that created this condition. And so many people who have this condition, that do the blessing of the energy centers, have the most dramatic responses, because they're creating order in each one of these systems right here, programming the autonomic nervous system back into balance. And every center is a greater energy than the previous center. And so as she's starting to move energy back up into her throat, she's taken energy out of these centers and redistributing them equally amongst these other energy centers, over time the body is going to move back into homeostasis. Yes or no? And would you say then, would you...
I'm going to poke him, he's real.
Now, would you say then also that, you know who Bernie Siegel is?
Not in my mind movie.
It's always greater than you imagined, by the way.
I still have time.
Shh. Would you say then, Bernie Siegel is a dear friend of mine. He wrote some really great books on healing, and he was a physician that was kind of at this way before anybody was. And he always says to me, "Hey, doc, it's about tenacity." Say that to me all the time. It's tenacity. It helps us to heal. And so she got the voodoo curse based on natural and normal. It's going to get worse. The condition's going to get worse. You're going to get worse. I've seen it for 20 years. I'm giving you my experience based on my expertise of studying normal and natural. So you fall into that category, right? So she did not accept, believe, and surrender to that thought without analyzing it. Do you understand? Because what would be the emotion that she would feel moments after she got the voodoo curse? Fear, yes? And then whatever comes after that emotional response is going to program the autonomic nervous system. You have 3 months to live. You have 6 months to live. You're out. You're going to go blind by the time another 5 years. That suggestion can go right in because information that's going to make it in is equal to the fear she's experiencing. Are you with me still? But I love the fact that she did not accept, believe, and surrender, and then she was thrown around the F-bomb over and over again. That meant then that there was some ability of her analytical mind to say, no, I'm not going to accept, believe, and surrender to that thought. In fact, I'm going to figure out how I'm going to heal this without having an organ taken out or having surgery or being on some type of medication that has other side effects that people rely on for the rest of their lives. So just by doing the inner work in creating more homeostasis and balance, her double vision went away. By doing it, she has no nephrosis, no problems with her kidneys. She has all kinds of changes that are going on in her body as a result of her, listen to this, uncreating the condition. Yes or no? Now you can ask her, about her loss of her companies, the loss of her job, the loss of her dogs. Dogs are a big one, marriage, all that stuff. Those are all things, by the way, that she needed to let go of to have a new life.
Yes.
Would you agree? Now, all we have to do is get her into the state of mind where she knows that she knows how to create the exact same thing even better. Are you with me? And once she gets tapped into the fact that she created those 3 companies and she has all the skills of knowing how to do it, and she finally lets go on the story all the way and she starts applying herself, anybody have any doubt that she won't be wealthy again? I think she'll be wealthy again. Yes? Thank you so much.
Thank you. A lot of people ask me, they came up to me and say, so how did you do it? They would say, and I said meditation, and they would say, how long do you do it for? An hour, 2 hours? It depends on how I feel. And they're like, oh, do you have to do it for an hour? For me, it's not about negotiating anymore. Like when you have lost everything that you used to have, and all you have is yourself, and nobody around you understand why you chose this meditation, and just keep listening to what Dr. Joe's saying. I chose to pull myself away from my known environment and just do my own things. And that, for me, I took the risk, but it was a courage, and I'm glad I did it because now I could say I'm 100%. My eyesight's 100%, the Graves' disease is 100%. My message is just do the work and sit with it, trust the unknown. And if you have your elevated emotion and you show up as whatever you're asking for, whatever your condition is already healed, you will get there. But you can't ask from the place of lack, because if you're still meditating from a place of lack, you still feel lack. you have to really raise your energy, and you feel like it's already happened, and it will happen. It will come to you.